Welcome to Boss Up Goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women who share their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. Well, the woman you are about to meet is absolutely all of that and more. She is a warrior in training, and she loves Wonder Woman, as you can see in the poster behind her. And when I met her, I was just absolutely enthralled. So, welcome, Ceza Ouzounian.
Thank you for having me on. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, I just adore you. And I'm so inspired by your message and your mission. You're coming to us live from Glasgow, Scotland. And your company is all about helping women be stronger in mind, body, and relationships. So,
Yeah,
we are today going to talk about how to find your power in mind, body, and relationships. Ceza is a coach, a fitness coach, a relationship coach, and an energy coach. So she helps you create this perfect trifecta where you can just become an absolute goddess to rock your life when you are strong body, strong mind, and energy, and an amazing relationship. I mean, how much better can that get, right? so,
exactly.
so Ceza, can you talk about how you got your fascination with Wonder Woman and also started your company, Warrior in Training?
Sure. I guess with Wonder Woman, I just love that she's a powerful woman. I love superheroes. I've got Captain America over here, and I just love
Oh,
that this is a woman who's strong. She's powerful. She can fight. She knows her mind, like, and no man stops her from doing what she wants to do, which is what I love.
yeah.
Um, and the warrior in training name came, I don't know how, I just love the whole warrior kind of spirit idea. Like a warrior is strong, like both physically and mentally, and they know what they want, they know their direction, and they know that they can handle anything that gets in their way. Because
Yes.
obstacles come up in life. Uh,
Yes.
they know that no matter what, they'll find a way to get to where they need to go, which is
Mm-hmm.
what I love about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that so much. And it's so important. I mean, in this modern world, the messaging about Wonder Woman or be a goddess is all about finding your power. And your power starts with your mind, and power is truly about energy. So, can you talk about the connection of what is a woman's power? How do you help her find it?
that's that's quite a big question. I I think every woman has a different power, but I think that when you are truly yourself and you accept and you love who you are and you go out and you show the world how amazing you are and you're confident and you don't let those obstacles stop you, that is your power. Like
Mhm.
we're all different, we all have different qualities and different strengths, but that is our power. That was what makes us amazing and powerful and unique. And I think women need to go out there and be like, this is my power, this is me. Like,
But why don't we though?
um, I think there's lots of reasons. I think part of it is, I guess, society and how we've been brought up, and there are lots of things are changing, but there's still lots of messages of a woman, I guess, being in her place or behaving a certain way. Oh, this is what women do, this is what men do. And I think that's a big part of it. And things are changing, but they're slow. If you look at like the last 100 years, things are changing, but it's slow. And you still see those those beliefs coming up in girls that, oh, this is not girl-like behavior, or that's for boys, leave that for the boys, do you do this, or focus on being pretty rather than intelligent. Or so those things, we still see them in society.
Mhm. So when you work with women, do they come to you saying, I don't want to be girly girly, I want to be powerful, I want to be a warrior? Or how does that work?
Not really. um it's more that there's something going on for them. So let's say, to do with relationships, something they're not happy, And when they come to me, they might not necessarily realize that they need to work on themselves. And a big
Oh,
thing that comes up um, in like relationships, but just in general, is the whole "I'm not good enough" belief. That is a big one that comes a lot. It's one I've worked on for myself and with a lot of people. Um, and that obviously affects a lot of things.
yes, yes. Oh, that's so fascinating. So they're in a relationship and they come to you for relationship coaching, and then you sort of aim the spotlight back on them because in order to really rock a relationship, we have to be strong with ourselves.
Exactly.
Wow. And you
Yeah.
know what? We live in a world that tells us everything about us is not good enough.
Mm.
And then if you're in a relationship, you're holding yourself or viewing yourself through this lens of what the world is saying is good enough. And it's really, really difficult. So, how do you work with women on knowing we're good enough?
So, so I use a technique called the energy alignment method, which is a really good way to tune into what's going on in your energy and in your subconscious. So that way we can identify the beliefs that you're holding, the thoughts, the emotions, the patterns that you're repeating. And so some of this stuff comes from childhood. It could be stuff that's passed down the generations. Um, there's stuff there that you don't even realize is there, but it's running the show. It affects how you behave. It affects what you say, you feel, how you see the world. So we, yeah, dive in and find out, okay, what is going on beneath the
Mhm.
surface.
Okay. And then do women actually feel like they are enough when they're done working with you?
That's the plan, yes. um, so obviously every woman's different. Some need we need to work a little bit longer, some less. But yeah, they do. They step into their power more. You can see that they're becoming more confident. They're more accepting of who they are. They're more understanding of who they are. There's some, there's like a lot of shame and judgment that comes up,
Mhm.
especially I find it a lot with women. So we start looking at that and releasing that, and then that, because that is kind of like it holds you, so it allows them to like step into who they are and accept and love.
Shame and judgment, does it come from ourselves, from other people?
It can come from both.
Uh-huh.
Um, Again, it's like it's what you've been told as a child, is what society says, is what if you're in a religion, what religion says. It could be what your parents say, teachers, and then that affects how you see the world, and you can put shame on yourself. You can judge. I think we're all our own harshest critics, so it's easy
Yes.
to judge ourselves.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
and it's about stepping past that. Um, yeah, and I always say to my clients, no matter what, so when you're working on yourself, things will come up and there will be thoughts or emotions or beliefs that you don't want to accept that's going on for you, but you need to accept that they're there and not judge it and just go, okay, this is what I'm feeling, and that's okay. And that way you can let it go.
Mhm.
Move past
Ooh,
it.
I love that, I love that. Now do you work with the couple, like, with the woman and her partner?
I generally work with, usually women come to me. I can work with them, but I would do it separately. And that's because I want them to have um, the opportunity to say what they want to say without feeling the other person's going to judge them, or they might not say what they truly mean to say because the other person's there. I
Mm,
want to get to the core of what's going on. So I
right.
find individual work is better for that.
Oh, wow, wow, and so, let's see, energy, relationships, and fitness. What role does fitness play in this whole
Yeah.
formula here?
So um, the energy is great for tuning into what's going on in the subconscious, but I find the fitness is also a really good addition to that, because whatever's going on up here is affecting down here, and whatever's going
Yes.
on down here is affecting up here.
Mhm.
So fitness is a really good way to, one, it helps you feel more confident. It boosts all the good hormones. It allows you to get out of your head and get
Mm.
into your body, which
Mm.
really helps with like things like intuition. If you've got, we feel emotions in our body. So if you've got all these trapped emotions in your body, we can start to release it. Um, if you're going through a difficult time in life, fitness is such a great way to help you through that. I've had clients who've come to, who, like, one, her marriage was breaking up, and fitness was like her saving grace to keep her
Mm.
sane, because it de-stresses you, it makes you feel good, it's, yeah, allows you to stop
Yes,
thinking.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now, during the pandemic, I don't know how are things in Glasgow in terms of the ability to go out and exercise? Are the gyms open?
Not at the moment, we're still in lockdown.
Okay,
But
okay.
a lot of us, like, I've been teaching all my classes online, and I know from what clients have said, that's really helped them. Because also there's a group of them, so there's a bit of a community, like a chat.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and you can go out for a walk or a run, but that's about it. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So that's powerful. And so you explain about how the energy, I love how you said you get out of your head and into your body. That's really powerful. And it shifts your energy so profoundly. And
Yeah.
then when you're feeling good in your mind and your body, then you can step into a relationship more powerfully, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Uh, so with, like, when you're in a relationship, it does bring up those limiting beliefs and those triggers and those patterns. Um, and having So when you're working on the energy, you can work on the mind side of it. Okay, what is going on, like, in my head? But also the fitness allows you to work on it in a less obvious way. It, yeah, you feel confident when you exercise,
Yeah.
and I think that's really important when you go into a relationship.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. And do typically both partners embrace physical fitness as something that's important?
I guess it depends on the person. I would always suggest that they do something, but again,
Uh-huh.
you can't force someone to exercise. I always say,
Right, I know.
yeah, find something you enjoy
Uh-huh.
doing and do it. Um,
Hmm. Hmm. What about messages for women who aren't in a relationship and then it's Valentine's Day? Do you celebrate that there?
yeah,
Okay, so that just puts all this pressure like, oh, I'm alone, or oh, when am I going to find my person? So what do you do to help women feel that it's awesome to be alone and figure yourself out in sort of this workshop of yourself? Do you help women through that as well?
yes. So I'm currently doing a challenge where I have people who are single, um,
Oh,
and obviously, well, in Glasgow we're in lockdown, so dating is obviously really difficult.
right,
Um,
right.
but even if you're not dating, uh, so what I would say is, if you're looking for a partner and you're looking for a relationship, is really tune into what you want. Get super clear, like, what is it you want in a relationship? What is it you want in a partner? What is important to you and what you will not tolerate? And
Hmm.
as you're doing this list of tuning into that ideal relationship, listen to the thoughts and emotions that are coming up, because it might be that you've not attracted that right person to you because deep down you don't believe relationships work, for instance.
Mm.
Or, I don't know, there was someone who I spoke to who, she didn't think any man was good enough. So obviously, as soon
Oh.
as she went on a date, it was like it was never gonna go anywhere, because she had decided no man is good enough before she's even gone there. So listen to those thoughts you're having, because they
Uh-huh.
are a big um, biggie to what's going on.
Wow. And Ceza, do you believe that we have to become what we want to attract? Because when we become that, then we sort of get on this frequency that attracts the person who's on our level.
Yes, definitely. So when you are, so there's different levels to this, but when you are confident and you step into your power, it's a lot easier to attract that right person to you. Also, it means you are clearer on what you want. So when you are in your power, you know what you want, and you can put that out into the world, and you also focus a lot more on those positives, on the good things, on the, what you desire rather than what you don't have.
Mhm.
So you can bring that to you. And when you start working on yourself, yeah, you're in a different place, so you can attract the right person to you. Right
Yes.
relationship, definitely.
Yes, I think that's so, so important. So rather than lament the fact of being alone, then see it as a time of self-discovery and self-empowerment and really explore past relationships and what went wrong and what was it about me that attracted that. Um,
Yeah.
and so then you can, and I love what you said about understand what you're seeking because the person you attract is sort of like a mirror of yourself in some way. Is that right?
Yeah, it can be. Um, I'm just thinking about my fiance is in my mirror.
Ah, congratulations. Excellent. When are you getting married?
Next April, so April 2022.
Oh, beautiful. I hope it's COVID is over so you can have
So
a,
do I.
yeah. Wow.
Um, so yeah, I don't know if he's an exact mirror, but so if I just share a little bit about my story, uh,
Yes,
that's okay.
please.
So my relationship before this one, the reason I moved to Glasgow from London, um, that wasn't a great relationship. It was someone who he pushed all my boundaries and I let him, and I knew like right from the start he wasn't the right guy for me, but I stayed for 2.5 years in that relationship. But when I broke up from that relationship and realized all the things I had allowed and tolerated in the relationship, it meant I could work on me. And I looked at the patterns, I looked at, my past. It was to do with lots of rejections when I used to be an engineer. All of that was affecting how I felt about myself and my self-worth and my confidence. And that's what I worked on. And then I did a list of exactly what I wanted in a man, in a relationship. I did the energy work. And then 6 months later, I met the guy who's now my fiance. So I know it
Wow.
works, but you have to put the
Wow.
work in.
That was amazing. Okay, wait, wait. Oh my gosh, that was like the formula. Okay, now what was the work that you did on yourself? How did you do that? And you said in 6 months?
Yeah, but I had done some work before that. It wasn't like the starting point, but I did things like I looked at my beliefs. I looked my emotions, how I felt about that relationship. I looked at so to do with the career rejection was affecting who I was attracting. So I looked at my self-worth, my confidence, that whole I'm not good enough coming. I did the energy work to release all of those pent up emotions and anger and frustration and how I felt about my ex, like all of that I had to get out of my system. Yeah,
Wow.
and then I did that list, what do I want? And I really tuned into that. And anytime like, doubt comes up or beliefs of this is not going to happen, or I don't know, I'm not good enough. That's what you keep an eye out for so that you're not repeating that same pattern.
Hmm. Now, did you do this by yourself or did you have a coach guiding you through it?
Most of it I did by myself, but I had done so the energy work I teach, you can do it by yourself.
Okay.
That's
All
the
right.
beauty of it.
I
Uh,
love it.
but I'd done like training, I'd worked on myself. So when was that? So it would have been at least a good year, nearly 2 years I'd been doing work. So I knew how it worked. And the bits that were really difficult that I didn't want to face and I didn't know how to work on, I got a coach. Um,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, we
Pardon?
all have blind spots.
Yes, I love the way you said that. Blind spots. Exactly. We need someone else to point those things out, and those could be the most biggest blocks that we face.
Yeah,
Now, Ceza, that's brilliant. Can you talk about boundaries? Because many women don't set boundaries. We don't know how. We're not aware that we're not setting them. And then we feel like someone's violating the boundaries we never set. So,
yeah,
can you talk about what is a boundary and how do you put them in place and enforce them?
yeah. Um, so what I get my clients to do is first think about their standards. So what is it you want? What are you like willing to accept? What are the aims of your relationship, for instance? And the boundaries are the almost like the rules that are going to maintain those standards. So it's about getting clear with yourself, because we all have different standards and boundaries. So you can look at past relationships, you can look at your current relationship. What are your standards, and what boundaries are in place to satisfy that? So like, for instance, let me think of an example. I don't know, you want some time to be alone and do whatever it is you want a few times a week. That is your self-care. It's really important for your sanity. It gives you that boost of energy that you need, for instance. So you are the one who's in charge of maintaining that boundary so that you get that time. And if that means having to talk to your partner or setting up that rule when you're dating, it's your job to enforce it, because sometimes your partner doesn't even realize that boundary is there, or that you need that specific thing, and you have to communicate it. And like, sometimes it's different personalities. I often tell my fiance I need him to leave me alone so I can have some me time. It's about maintaining that and saying, this is what I'm willing to accept, and this is how I'm going to enforce it. Yeah. And
so
yeah. No, I was going to say it's up to us to be strict with it, and I think when you're in your power, it's a lot easier to say, this is what I'm willing to accept, and this is what I'm not willing to accept, and this is what I want.
Yes. And what you said about your person in London, how that person would push past all your boundaries. A lot of times it's difficult until you've empowered yourself. It's very difficult to speak up because you're worried, oh, they're going to leave me, or oh, they're going to get mad, or whatever. But it's all to the detriment of your own self-esteem and your own, even your livelihood, if they're interfering with your work or your energy to focus and do your work. So
absolutely.
So the key again is knowing your standards, but in order to know your standards, you still have to get quiet by yourself and figure out what those are.
Exactly. And like, sometimes it takes time for this. If it's something completely new, it might take time for you to get clear on what those things are. And you can have a look, if you are in a relationship and you're not 100% happy, look at what isn't making you happy and what needs to change for you to be happy. Because it might be that there's a boundary that's being crossed, and either you're allowing it to happen, or maybe your partner doesn't even know they're doing it and they're crossing a boundary. You kind of need to kind of look and explore and examine a little bit more what's going on for you. Yeah.
I love that. So it's awesome that you talk about energy and relationships, because the other person's energy is absolutely going to fuse with yours. It's invisible, but you can still feel it, like they're in you. It's hard to describe. Even if the relationship is over, sometimes their energy is still there, very strong. And you almost have to, I don't want to say the word exorcism, but you kind of have to do some kind of a cleanse or clearing to get that person's energy. Because when you're, in a relationship and you're intimate, your body parts are literally together, and then their energy it's just infused in your energy field. And so how do you get that out?
Well, I would do the energy alignment method technique we call it cutting the cord rather than
okay.
That's a good way to put it.
Right. It's because it's spiritual and it's energetic, and cutting the cord. That's something that, will you explain what cords mean, please?
So it's almost like, if you imagine it, there's like a piece of rope tying you to that other person. And it could be like an energetic cord, not a literal cord. And you just want to almost like snip it so that you're no longer tied to that person. And you can do a visualization. I remember I did that And I often tell people to do, just visualize that cord and then imagine you're cutting it and that you're free of them. And that can be really powerful.
Wow.
Yeah,
That,
it's a good visual to do. And
mhm.
sometimes you can feel that almost like, oh, okay, I'm free, which is
Mhm.
quite nice. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. It does work.
Mm.
Do you have your clients journal and meditate and do other things like that?
I do sometimes suggest journaling or like recording voice notes. Some
Uh-huh.
people prefer to do that. And I do say just start writing and write.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you want to say something, say you have an ex, you want to write them, say everything you wanted to say that you never got the chance. Just write it down, get it out of your system.
Ooh.
That's a good one. All the things you want to
Wow.
say.
Right, and you're not hurting anybody. That's the cool thing about it. You're releasing it from yourself, but you're not hurting anybody's feelings, or it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
And especially like, let's say you broke up and it wasn't a good breakup. You want to get all that, because whatever's left in you, that energy, that whatever you're feeling is in you. It's not affecting the other person. There's
Right.
no point holding on to it. You want to
Right.
release it so you can move on with your life.
Yes.
I mean, you don't want your ex to still affect how you feel now, like years later. So
No, that's a huge problem too, though. If we have these hurts from past relationships and they're all festering inside us, and then we meet someone new, it's going to come out in a really negative manner. So it sounds like you help women clear that, heal that, so that when we step forward, there's just openness and a healed heart, right?
yeah, exactly. And it's about releasing what you've got festering in your body, but it's also becoming aware, because some things you're going to get triggered over and over and over again. But it's about becoming aware of going, okay, this thing that's just got triggered has actually nothing to do with this person. It's something from the past.
Yes.
Like, let's say you have a boyfriend who cheated on you, and then you're in a different relationship and there's no reason for you to suspect anything, but your partner does something, and then you get triggered and you
Yeah.
start suspecting and getting angry and upset. You could potentially damage and end that relationship because of a
Right.
past hurt. So that's what we want
Right.
to find and release, and then become aware if it does come up again, and
Mhm.
then snip that pattern so it doesn't happen again. um, yeah.
I love it. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. So that is so powerful. So where can people find you, Ceza?
So they can find me. I'm everywhere. So my website is warriorintraining.co.uk. And
Okay.
I am on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, Warrior in Training with Ceza, on Facebook. Um, I even have a TikTok.
Oh, wow. Awesome. I'll put all your links in the description box so people can get in touch with you and take part in your challenge that starts in March, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So it's a 5-day have a relationship you love experience, where we will
Ooh.
go into some of the things I talked about now, and also I'll go into the energy alignment method so they can actually experience it for themselves.
Ooh, the energy alignment method. I love that. That's powerful. I love what you do. And you are walking the talk because you did it for yourself and now you're engaged. That's awesome.
Yeah. Happily engaged.
Happily engaged.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And the other cool thing is, I know the pandemic is really tragic, but it- virtually it's opened us up to be more receptive to work with people all around the world. So you literally could work with someone anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Because I do it online on Zoom, so as long as I can see the person, it works.
Oh, I love it. Your mission is so powerful, Ceza, and I wish you the absolute best. You're just such a beautiful woman inside and out, just radiating this wonderful energy to help us all. So that's the mission of Boss Up Goddess, and you truly are a boss and a goddess and a warrior.
Thank you.
Love that. So, Ceza Ouzounian, I wish you the absolute most success and bliss in marriage
Thank
and your career. I hope you just absolutely make all your dreams come true and then some.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for having me on the show. I've loved it.
You're so welcome. Let's please keep in touch and maybe you can come back and talk about after you've gotten married, talk about, how that's helped you evolve in your coaching,
Mm,
you know,
yeah.
because I'm sure it'll provide some new insights. And we all need women like you to help us boss up and be warriors in training.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So, everybody watching, please do get in touch with Ceza. I'm going to put everything here so you can get in touch with her. And Ceza Ouzounian, thank you so very, very much for joining me here today on Boss Up Goddess.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you, all of you, for joining me and Ceza so you could learn from her wisdom so you can boss up and be the goddess that you're meant to be, empowered in mind, body, and spirit. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell so you'll know every time I go live or upload a new video. Meanwhile, remember, boss up, goddess, you have the power. I'll see you next time.